Hovey's Knives of China Pepper and Small Veggie Knife makes tacos. William Hovey Smith, 2016. I am the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, and here we use our new knife to make some deer meat tacos.
This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman, and also the owner of a new company, Hovey's Knives of China. In a previous video, we introduced the pepper and small veggie knife, and we made salsa and guacamole. And now we're going to complete the process and make tacos. These knives are made of carbon steel in this particular instance. Now this is a prototype blade. Now I've used it on several videos thus far, and it's now time to give it a sharpening. And so all you do is take your steel, and this happens to be one made just last year by Buck Knives, and steel it up a little bit, just like this. And this will freshen the edge. There are no knives that never need sharpening. Don't exist, guys. So you have to touch up your blades every once in a while. Now I have been in some of the world's kitchens and found the dullest cooking knives I have ever seen in these kitchens. Why? Well, they don't want the liability of giving inexperienced cooks sharp knives. That's the long and short of it. So they let them dull and let them stay that way. Well, that's a bit of a shame. You need a sharp knife to do really good work in the kitchen. So use your steel, sharpen your knives, and take care with what you're doing. Got that one? Okay. Now to proceed. We have common, everyday, and inexpensive ingredients. These are taco shells. Now these I like in particular because they have flat bottoms. So you can stand them up and fill them very easily. You don't have to put them in a rack to fill them, okay? So that's a nice feature of these old El Paso shells here. Yeah, they really work. A nice design. And we're also using some cheese here from Kraft that is a mix of both white and yellow cheese. This has a lower fat content. So some would say it is healthier for you. And so this is the cheese we will use. This cheese grater looks like your grandma's. It is. Yeah. This grater is more than 50 years old. Even though made of pressed steel, if you buy good equipment, yeah, it will last several lifetimes. Okay. So we start with our cheese here, and I'm going to go ahead and open the packet. And cut out a block of cheese. Now, I'm just one guy, so I'm not going to make a whole huge amount of this. So we're going to grate up, about yay much cheese. And this will be sufficient for a couple of tacos. Because after all, I'm not going to eat 5 or 6 of them, I'm just going to eat 1 or 2. Okay? Now that the cheese has been opened, it's going to be put in a plastic bag and put in the refrigerator. And so we take our familiar grater here and proceed to produce some grated cheese. Well, can't you buy this cheese at the store already grated? Well, I use much more cut cheese and melted cheese, so I see no reason to buy the expensive grated cheese, which is more expensive than the flat cheese like this, which is not cheap anyway, by the way. Buy the specialized stuff. Okay. This cheese is not as hard as some and is tending to crumble. An older, more aged cheese will be harder than this. Now when I grew up we had such a thing called rat cheese, which was cut from a wheel at your local store, and that cheese may have sat there for weeks. And so it is aged and oxidized and is generally, okay, that's getting about like I want it. We are getting some gray actually through here, some of which is more crumbled than grated, but all will do. Yeah. Now, you take the back of your knife okay, and you'll have your grated cheese. Now actually, for this cheese, it would have been better to use this rather than this finer grade. But we have it here now, and we have something we can put on our tacos. Piddling amount though. I think I'll grade more than that. Yeah. We'll cut a similar size block and we'll use the other side. And yes, you can cut just like I'm doing here through package and all. Now, this will go better. Yeah, this more readily suits this particular cheese. And cheeses are different, by the way. Not all cheeses are the same. Okay, yeah. That goes faster and better and will taste the same. So we've got our cheese done. All right. We'll take our cheese and put it over here in the bowl. On a flat surface, you could just take your knife and go and be done, but we don't have a flat surface here. So, now about the lettuce. Again, just 2 tacos. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up the lettuce here right straight down the board. I think it does better. And we'll just cut it fine and thin. Now that should be about enough, I would think. Okay. I don't want to reduce it quite to powder. Now this sharp blade is actually cutting these lettuce leaves all the way down to the bottom. In case you had doubts about that. Yeah. That is the beauty of having this flat bottomed blade. On a flat cutting surface, it cuts! Whoa, wonderful! Marvelous innovation. Of course I exaggerate. Clean off the blade, clean off the board. Although not too serious about it because it's all going to be mixed anyway. Now we have our wonderful Roma tomato here. This is the one that was reserved yesterday just for use as garnish. So now we're just going to cut it up fine. It has sat out for a while and has gotten quite soft, softer than I had wanted. Prefer it to have been crisper. Okay. Now scoop it up. And there are our tomatoes with a garnish on top of the taco. The next step is going to be to prepare the meat. Yeah, the seasoned taco meat. And for a base, we're going to be using some ground deer sausage that I previously thawed, and we're going to take it over here to the stove and you can watch me cook it. We're now going to take our thawed deer sausage and brown it in a cast iron frying pan and adjust the seasonings with chili powder. I'm not going to throw in chili powder just willy-nilly. We're going to use it after the deer meat has browned and granulated. Then taste, then add chili powder as indicated, add water, and then allow the entire mix to sort of steep for a while and mix the flavors. So now this is starting to cook and we're just going to let it brown. While the taco meat is going through its final seasonings over there, a word or two more about the knives. Now this is the small fruit and veggie knife. This is the pepper and small veggie knife. And this is Buck's sharpening steel. What do they have in common? What they have in common is these knives are all designed to be hung. Boom! Yes. These knives in Chinese use were actually suspended from a board beside the workstation, rather than being taking up space on a kitchen top with a knife block. So they're hung up like this, whoop, whoop, and put off to one side somewhere, so the chef can grab the knife he needs the instant he wants it, clean it, and hang it back. Boom! Simple. And did not take up valuable space on the work surface. Now we will offer boards for these knives ultimately, and I'm looking for a joint venture partner to actually manufacture them out of nice looking woods. In the meantime, you can take a cutting board just like I've been using here and drill it and mount your knives on that until we come up with some more elegant mounting boards. Eventually, I'll even have sets that you can buy. Nice exotic boards, knives hung up, outlined in the manner of Julia Child, so if one's missing, you can know instantly that knife is gone and exactly what knife it is and exactly where it goes back on the board. Bang! So if one of your assistant cooks grabs one, you know exactly, he's got it! Yeah. And can take proper remedial action. Okay? Now, about the tacos. These need to be heated a little bit. And I'm just going to make two. So I'm going to remove two and put in the microwave for about 20 seconds or so. I think we'll do for two right fine. And then we'll proceed to load up our taco. We now have our warm taco shells out of the oven and about to build up our taco. So we have our meat here. It is properly granulated, as you can see. It is still hot and steamy. And you put it into the shell. Okay, okay. Then goes your lettuce. Okay. Okay. Cheese. Okay. Salsa. Okay. And you have a taco. And I'm going to put a little more lettuce on the top. Okay. And I'm going to add some of my tomatoes here on top. There. Now that is a reasonable taco. Now how doth it taste? Now if you go to a taco joint and you get a taco that does not look this good, it doesn't have at least this much filling in it, send it back. This is a minimal amount of filling. If the guys complain, show them their own picture up on the wall. That's what a taco is supposed to look like. That's good, guys. Just the right amount of salsa. About the guacamole. Yeah. Okay. Lettuce. Okay. Guacamole. And this has sat in the refrigerator overnight and is slightly oxidized on the outside, but that's okay. At a restaurant, you would expect to see it absolutely fresh and green. You wouldn't expect to see this. If you saw this, yeah, send it back. By doing this myself and out of deer meat, I get a much more nutritious meal without all the additives, etc., etc., etc. in commercial processed food. And guess what? I can even buy me a beer. What? And have an authentic taste of Dos Equis with my homemade taco and guacamole. Yes, sir. Now the only thing missing is a flan for dessert, and I also have a YouTube video on how to make that. I have found that for a taco that actually holds more ingredients, in fact a guy-sized taco, you go ahead and you use the shells unheated. They tend to shrink a little bit as they heat. So this will give you a bigger taco that can absorb more filling, and certainly will taste as good or better than the ones that are heated. Plus, if you don't heat it, it doesn't tend to fall apart quite so bad. It's not as embrittled. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.
I talk about knives and cooking in all of my softcover books, including backyard deer hunting, crossbow hunting, extreme muzzleloading, and practical bow fishing. Now I have a new series of e-books on muzzleloading guns, including shooting and maintaining your muzzleloader, as well as hunting big and small game with muzzleloading pistols. I also have a new series of business books in the Profit series. The first among these is Ideas for New Businesses on finding ideas for your million or billion-dollar business. And here's a little blurb about me and about the book. Now, these videos are going to be posted on a variety of social media sources, and you can go see them there and help me publicize these knives. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 500 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye and God bless.